So something extremely unexpected ended up happening last night, and that ended up being 7 huge Persona projects ended up getting revealed. Now, not necessarily that we know what these 7 huge projects are, but they announced that 7 huge Persona projects are going to be revealed and are currently in the works. And one of which, as the namesake of this video suggests, Persona 6 was announced, and it was trending all night, and even is at the recording of this video. A bunch of different news outlets like comicbook.com is talking about it. It's crazy, and what's even crazier about it is that the game has actually been in development since 2017, meaning they have quite a number of years to actually work on it. Now, I do think it's not going to be, 2021 release. I don't think, for the 25th anniversary, sorry. I don't think that it's actually going to be released this year. The main reason I think that is they actually announced a Persona 25th anniversary website last night and launched it. And they actually have an alt tag for the image of the 7th, project. And it actually says Persona 25th anniversary with a question mark 2022, in autumn. So autumn of 2022 is when there's going to be a huge announcement, even though it kind of won't be the 25th anniversary anymore by then. That's just saying that this is a 25th, this is a teasing that they're doing for the 25th anniversary, that something is coming then. So I still think it counts. But more than just that, I just think it's insane that this is actually coming to pass. It's been so long, and I'm glad they're approaching it this way. Main reason I think that is because everybody who was actually a Persona fan before Persona 5 doesn't know the wait that we kind of had for Persona 5. They announced Persona 5 way too early. They ended up saying that it was going to come out winter of 2014, and then the Japanese audience didn't even get it till 2016. So yeah, I don't think they should have announced it as early as they did. Something happened in development. They haven't fully talked about it, but a lot of stuff happened that ended up changing the game dramatically, or they just overall needed a lot of extra time, because over here in the West, we didn't even get it until 2017. So it's been a hot minute since we had to wait for it. Because when you really think back to before Persona 5, the last mainline we had was Persona 4, and even though it had, a Vita re-release as its golden form, but even before then, we didn't have a new original story for Persona since the PS2 era. And that is saying something, man. We had to wait a long time for this. And the fact that this new Persona game is probably still going to be coming out on PS4 as well next year, and, PS5, I hope they're doing this, the right way. Because even though Persona 5 was developed for the PS3 to be that PS3 Persona game, which I guess it technically still was, but it came out well into the PS4's life, I think they're going to do the same thing here. It's obviously still going to come out on the PS4, but I really hope that the PS5 version has significant upgrades, for it, making it, you really prefer it over the PS3 version. I know the PS3 of P5 did the same thing. Obviously, why would you get the the PS3 version if you have a PS4? I know there was a lot of, flickering issues and stuff like that, but that's not what it's really about. All over social media, you're seeing people give their wish list for the 7 projects and stuff like that. One of which we already know is Persona 6. So I guess it's a wish list for the 6 other projects of it. And I'm no different. I really want to talk about what I think these other 6 projects are actually going to be, because there is a ton of way to really go about this. So I'm gonna say here right now, if you guys have an idea of what you think the other 6 projects, that excluding Persona 6, is gonna end up being, you should definitely leave it in the comments below, because I really want to read what some of you guys think, because there's probably something that, after I'm done recording this video, I'll be like, oh my gosh, I didn't even think of that. So definitely leave it in the comments. But for me personally, let's start from the top. I think Persona 1 and 2 are going to get remasters in the style of the Persona 4 Golden remaster that we got last year for the actual PC. So that's gonna be really, really interesting. Now, Persona 1 actually was already on PC back in the day, but that, it's still what I'm referring to is a real modern, remaster. Now, I don't expect them to go as, further than what P4 actually did. I don't expect the visuals to be Persona 5 style or anything like that. Let's be real here. Atlus has a lot going on. Sega's got a lot going on. I'm not going to expect something like that. I mean, if they can always surprise me, I'll be the first to lose my mind on Twitter. I promise you I will. But I think we're going to see Persona 1 and 2, and I mean both Persona 2. Those that don't know, Persona 2 is actually released in 2 separate versions. We have Innocent Sin and Eternal Punishment. I think that when they actually re-release those, Persona 1 is going to have its own version, and then we're going to have Persona 2 as a duology. So it's going to end up, you launch the game and then you can end up choosing, from the main menu, kind of like how in Persona 3 FES, you could actually end up choosing, the journey and the answer. I think, it'll have Innocent Sin and Eternal Punishment. Eternal Punishment obviously being what you play after Innocent Sin. So that's what I think is going to end up happening. I think they're going to be widescreen. We'll have the whole out 60 FPS, or hopefully, in PC versions will be unlocked frame rates. Of course, this is going to be for all platforms, PC, PlayStation, Switch, the works. I think with this many projects announced, it's not, too much to ask. I don't think it's, something we shouldn't expect, but I think that they're going to release it on everything. And any other games I bring up here, I'm going to say the same thing, so get used to that. The next one is an obvious thing, is Persona 3 remake. I've made multiple videos on a remake for Persona 3, and even though I say remake, I technically mean remaster, but what I mean by that, it's kind of a remake and remaster, because I don't expect it to have different visuals than what the original P3 and FES and stuff had. I think that they're going to combine FES and portable. Again, I've made 2 videos on this topic of kind of what I want to see, for those. If you want to see that video, I'll have a card up top or a link in the description that you guys can check out if you want to actually see that. There's no spoilers in those videos, so you should be fine. But I really think that they're going to combine what FES and portable did. For those that don't know, FES is kind of like what you'd expect from how a Persona game to be like. But portable is pretty different in terms of its story. The story is kind of, told in a visual novel style, which the Persona series didn't really do before. So that's pretty different in its own right. But it actually included tons of things that kind of make it better than FES, but it's kind of debatable. I don't necessarily like to talk about what I think is better, but I think that both versions have their, pros and cons. Portable, you can actually control all your party members. In FES, you could not actually control your party members. You can, open up the tactics and, really tell them and give them commands of, what they should prioritize, healing, etc. But that's not the same as directly controlling the party members. I know there's mods that you can actually control your party member for FES, but that's not what it's about. Portable, you can actually do so. And they actually included a female protagonist for that game, which actually gives you, the social links with the guy characters in the game, because at least the party members, because you couldn't do that originally, which is awesome. And it also gives a different aspect and different angle of the story and the relationship this character has with these people. People treat her different, and her backstory is a little bit different. So overall, it does add enough different to give it another playthrough if you've already played Persona 3. So I definitely think it's going to be worth it. And there's so many good things between the two, because again, FES is a really good version of the game, and it's how a lot of people prefer to play it. But if we had what's good about that version and portable combined into one with new additions like widescreen, unlock frame rate for PC, 60 FPS for consoles, all that good stuff, maybe even some homages to future games and stuff like that as a re-release, a custom difficulty like they added for Persona 4 Golden's remaster on PC, that would be amazing. Stuff like that is absolutely what I need in more games. So that's what I expect in the P3 angle of things. Now the next one is, it's kind of strange because we've talked about it already and it's kind of already happened, but a Persona 4 Golden remaster. Now, even though we already have this remaster, I really want it to come to PlayStation and Switch, and that because it didn't happen. You'd think they would have announced that, but Persona 4 Golden's remaster was actually revealed at the PC gaming show. And it's funny because actually before this, I think it was a couple days before, there was actually a person who leaked Persona 4 Golden and Persona 3 both were in Steam's internal system. So, a web page was there, existed for it, but you couldn't actually access it. But when the PC gaming show actually came in 2020, it actually ended up only being Persona 4. Now, I don't think this is a coincidence. I don't think that the person was lying. I think that they ended up realizing that it ended up needing a little bit more work than they realized. So I think they ended up deciding that, you know what, we need to go the extra mile for this. So, and maybe it was just going to be a straight up port, you know, a little bit of a remaster of Portable. Because that's what the original leak said. It didn't say FES, it said Persona 3 Portable Remaster for the PC being on Steam. That's what it originally said. So if they ended up adding that angle of what FES had to offer and what Portable had to offer instead, that was well worth the delay. So I really do think that's going to be one of the things. But Persona 4 Golden Remaster for PlayStation Switch, that's what I really want, because Persona 4 Golden's remaster was done really, really well. Again, that custom difficulty was amazing. The frame rate is beautiful. The highest frame rate that Persona had ever been in, you know, so it was really, really great to see. And overall, I felt like I wasn't, you know, this one guy, you know, that was talking about Persona 4 Golden, because there was once upon a time when people were saying, you know, Atlus can't top Persona 4 Golden. You know, it's like, that's like the, you know, the best Persona game. What can they really do? There's, you know, Persona 4 Golden, despite having, you know, a slight amount of issues, that was what a lot of us wanted Persona to be. So it's like, I don't really see how they can improve that. There was a time when many people thought like that. And Persona 5 came, you know, and despite what you may think about the characters or story, gameplay wise, that game is practically, you know, it's non-disputable that game is the best, you know, in terms of gameplay. It's practically indisputable. So I really think that, you know, I think that people who played P5 really want to play P4, but not a lot of PlayStation and Switch users, you know, have a PC, you know, and Persona 5 still never even came to Switch. So, and will that happen? Maybe, but, you know, Persona 4 Golden's remaster needs to come to PS4 and Switch, especially PS4, primarily because there's a bunch of P5 fans, you know, that were made with that system. So them being able to play Persona 4 Golden, the game that preceded it, you know, is an obvious no-brainer. Now this one, I'm pretty, I don't know about. I'm not too sure. I have a feeling that something is going to happen, but what I want to actually happen is this. I want a Persona fighting game, and I don't necessarily mean, you know, cross tag battle or Persona 4 arena or anything like that. I mean an actual Persona arena. What I mean, and by that I mean like all the games, all are included. You know, not just Persona 3, not just Persona 4, not just Persona 5, not just Persona 3, 4, and 5. I want all of the series included, characters from all of them. That is a perfect way for somebody who's never played Persona, you know, to be able to be interested in these characters. Like, yo, this guy was pretty cool in this game. Like, oh, and there's a game, his game is getting re-released. Okay, I want to play that. You know, a lot of people have that mindset. When Joker ended up releasing for, you know, Smash Ultimate, a lot of people ended up buying Persona 5 so they can understand the character, you know, that made sense. And it's, again, a no-brainer. I know, despite me saying this, I have a feeling they're going to make it a Persona 5 arena. Now, I really don't want the Persona 5 name attached to it, especially because I think they're going to include at least 3, 4, and 5. I don't really see the point of just having it be Persona 5 Arena. I also feel this way with Persona 4 Arena, you know, because it included Persona 3 characters as well. I feel like they should have just called it Persona Arena back then, but it was the first time they did that, so I'll, you know, give it a pass. But I have a feeling that, one, they'll call it Persona 5 Arena because, well, obviously to sell more units, because if they just call it Persona Arena, not as many people will buy it. But adding that 5 on there, that'll attract the crowd they want. So that's what I think is going to end up happening. I think they're going to call it Persona 5 Arena, but at the bare minimum, it's going to include Persona 3, 4, and 5. Especially if they end up re-releasing Persona 3 as they did already Persona 4, that would make the most sense. But I really want an all-out Persona arena, because if they end up remastering Persona 1 and 2 and 3 and they already did 4, this is the perfect time to get a fighting game with all these characters. Now, what type of fighting game is debatable. Most people would probably prefer an arc system styled game, you know, hopefully to have rollback, you know, and actually include all the characters from all the games, you know, that way everybody's happy. We'll see a bunch of characters that we hadn't seen in a long time in brand new ways, you know. Maybe it won't even be like pixel art style. Like Persona 4 Arena had a strange like pixel art kind of style in a way. But if they end up making it more modern, I guess, Arc System style, I feel like that would be really cool too. And I can't really say it's not modern, because for Cross Tag Battle, they brought back those same sprites from Arena. But if they ended up making it actual pseudo 3D graphics, like with how they do with a lot of, like games like Dragon Ball Fighters and even the recent Guilty Gear Strive, I think that'd be pretty cool. So I really want a Persona Arena, but I'm expecting Persona 5 Arena. Now, there's another one that this one's kind of, I feel like it's a given, but it also might not happen. This is the one on the list I really think won't happen the most, purely for reasons I'm going to get into. But I think they're going to make a Persona mobile game. At this current time, I don't believe there is a worldwide Persona mobile game with its original story or anything like that, or even just being a collaborative effort of all the games or anything like that, and say all the protagonists are just their own separate characters and you have your own custom character or whatever. Just a regular Persona mobile game. And it'll probably be gacha. Let's be real here. It'll be a gacha mobile. They're gonna make a mobile Persona game. It's gonna be gacha. And the reason I say it might not happen is because they already have the Shin Megami Tensei mobile game and they still actively support it. So I really think that they might end up just not really worrying about this one, especially when they can just do Persona collaborations with it. Like if they add Persona 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 characters in it for the anniversary, they can easily just do that and they don't have to make a whole new game from that. So, and they don't have to detract attention for, anything. They get more sales and downloads for the mobile game they already have, because they're adding more stuff from a whole separate side series that people really care about. That's what I really think will probably end up happening. But actual full out Persona mobile game where you get to make your own character and you get to go between the high schools, Persona 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and everything, and meet the cast of those, whether it's, the person's going through time, because obviously the Persona games take place at different times, as you can tell if you actually play the games. I'd really like something like that, to where we actually get to meet the cast of each game, whether it be after their games, or slightly before or during. That would be really cool. So obviously they can make Persona Q work, which is pseudo in between each of their, in the middle of each of their games. I think they can make it work. So Persona mobile game, I definitely think it's going to happen. It's going to be gacha, but I don't really care because it's going to be good anyway. Now, the last and certainly not least, I really, out of everything here, I do think this, next to Persona 6 that is, because that was already actually revealed, but Persona's 25th anniversary concert. Now, this concert is kind of a given. I feel like a lot of people have already said this on Twitter, but we know how much Sega loves their concerts. This is something that's a no-brainer. Everybody knows it. They're gonna make a concert. I'm gonna be real here. They didn't announce it, but it's gonna happen. It's definitely gonna happen. The main reason I say this is, again, because Sega, ATLUS, they love concerts. They love the music of their series. They're very confident in the music they've been able to produce. They have a bunch of talented people, singers, musicians, everyone behind all the music of this entire series is extremely talented. There's practically no mid songs in this entire series. And every single game has multiple masterpiece OSTs in it. It's amazing. It's crazy. It has one of the best, like, as an overall series, I don't think there's a video game franchise that has better, consistently good music. Now, another series that probably has, a consistently good music to the tier of Persona is probably Kingdom Hearts to me. But for Kingdom Hearts, there's a lot of songs that I don't care about, as whether they're original songs made for Disney World or something like that. They're all great, of course, but it's still like, I don't care about it as much. I won't probably, pop in the Kingdom Hearts rendition of Under the Sea, while I'm going and working out. But I will most certainly I'll face myself for something like that, in my ears as I'm working out. But that's what I think specifically. I think it's going to be really cool. They're going to have music from every single game, including their re-releases like FES, Portable, Royal, Golden, everything. I think they're really going to go all out for it. And I really think that because Persona deserves it, man. Persona really deserves it. Like, Persona is one of those series to where every game has been so consistently good that I can understand any one of these games being your favorite. You know, I've said this before, but even Persona 1 and 2, those games do something that only those games could do. They're very different than what P3 and onward do. You know, there wasn't even any social links in those games, but they're still very, very feasible to be somebody's favorite. Those cast of characters are really cool. The stories are interesting. The worlds and bosses are cool. And I really think that without those games, of course, nobody probably would care about Persona right now. So even though they may have been forgotten, at least in Atlus's eyes until recently, you know, a lot of fans, like Persona 1 and 2 fans, are very passionate about those games, as they should be. You know, obviously they have to be good if they started this whole series. You know, I mean, it may be a spin-off to Shin Megami Tensei, but those games had to do well in order for us to get to Persona 5 or get to Persona 6. So obviously I want to give them respect, as they truly do deserve it. And Persona 3, 4, and 5, need I say more? I started with Persona 3 personally, and I've been in love with the series ever since. Persona 4 Golden specifically being one of my favorite games of all time. It's tied at my #1 spot, but that's a story for another day. What do you guys think? I know I said it earlier, but you guys should already let me know in the comments below what your wish list is for the 7 projects. I know that a lot of the things I said here aren't original. Oh, re-release Persona 1, 2, 3, and 4 on, you know, all platforms. You know, obviously everybody's saying that. But I think that because everyone is saying that, it goes to show you how on one accord the entire community is. Honestly, I've never seen the Persona community stand together like this. Usually everybody is so separate with, you know, their favorite game. Persona 3, 4, and 5 fans usually keep to themselves. 1 and 2 are just kind of like, you know, living there somewhere under a rock, you know, and it sucks, man. It sucks. But the fact that everybody was able to get together with all the cool artwork of all the new, you know, all the original characters, the main characters from the games, man, it was so cool, man. Seeing them in new styles and more modern appearances, it just looked really cool. And I truly think that this whole series is fantastic. And I can't wait to see, you know, the official reveal for all these projects. You know, unless they all tend to be mobile games and stuff like that, that would kind of suck. But again, let me know, am I off base? You know, are you guys thinking you guys got it understood and I'm just off? Or maybe I'm making some kind of sense to you. But that's going to be it for me. Let me know in the comments. Like the video if you guys enjoy Persona. And, you know, shout out to Persona's 25th anniversary. But thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys enjoy Persona, you know, subscribe. That way I can upload more Persona videos, you know, because I love talking about Persona and I just kind of can't stop talking. I talk about Persona as long as the games go on. So I talk for a pretty long time. But thank you guys so much for watching. My name is KingdomAce. And remember, my warriors of courage, stay strong, stay beautiful, and always look skyward.